Welcome to SPED 780 for spring of 2019. My name is Dr. Kylie Stewart. I am so excited to be your instructor this semester and really dig into how we can help our secondary students, that's typically grades 6 through 12, with high incidence learning needs in the classroom. I have to say that this is really one of my favorite courses that I get to teach for Pitt State because I love classroom application. That is what excites me. That's what I enjoy studying, reading about, constantly learning about, and that's what I do not only in teaching this class, but also things I do outside of teaching online, working with local school districts in the Kansas City area, and helping teachers really apply some of the things that we're going to talk about in this classroom, or in this course this semester. This course is primarily set up for those teachers who teach secondary education. I know some of you are going to be in this class and you're going to think, hey, I'm teaching 4th grade or I'm teaching 2nd grade. How is this going to be applicable to me? What I will tell you is most of what you will find in this course are instructional resources and strategies that are effective from all grade levels. So I think, well, you may think this isn't really going to meet my needs. I just have to take this class because it's a requirement. I think you're going to find that you're going to really gain some useful knowledge out of this course, even if you teach at other grade levels that maybe don't pertain to secondary. The other thing that I will say, and I know this from personal experience, having taught at the elementary level and then moving up to the middle level and really not ever thinking that was something I was going to do. You don't know for sure what the future is going to bring for your career. So someday you may be teaching at the secondary level. Someday you may work as a special education administrator or as a coordinator at the district level, helping teachers not only at the elementary level, but also at the secondary level. So it's always good to have a broad range of knowledge about working with students with disabilities. And I think this class, even if you're not a secondary teacher, is going to really meet your needs. If you are teaching in a secondary setting, this class is going to also have a lot of application-based things that you can take in your classroom the very next week after you've learned that material. A couple of things that I want to do in this initial video just to point out to you. This course, of course, is all online, so we don't meet at a particular time during the week. The course is going to run a Monday through Monday schedule, so a new module opens up on Monday and it's due the following Monday at 8 a.m. So that kind of gives you an idea of typically kind of how to plan your week. And I'm going to have some tips for success here in a minute that's also going to give you some suggestions for how to plan out your week. The textbook that we are using, you can see it right here, Strategies for Teaching Content Effectively in the Inclusive Secondary Classroom. I've sent you a link to this text in an email as a welcome email for the course. This textbook itself is really used for professional development purposes, but the reason I like it is because it's very application based. So it even has things that you can copy and take out and use in the classroom. Okay, so it's got resources you can pull directly out of it. As a classroom teacher, this would be a resource that I would want in my classroom. So although you're going to have to purchase a textbook, this one's not super expensive. It's also something I think you'll want to hang on to and use. Okay. A couple other things about the class. As I said, it's very classroom application based. So that's what we're really going to be focusing on, is how do we improve instruction? How do we improve access to the general ed curriculum for our students with secondary high incidence learning needs? The other thing that we will be doing is we will be getting to know each other better through discussion forums and really looking at the content, discussing the content, looking at things that you've done, some experiences that you bring to the table, because I am not, and I will admit now, I don't have all the answers. Okay? There are a lot of you in this class that have a broad range of experiences that you can share with the class and really build everyone's knowledge. And so we will have some discussion activities that we will do. In the first module, you will see there is a discussion forum survey that I ask you to do. It's just very short. It gives me some background information on you, kind of what you're currently teaching, what master's degree you're working towards, and that's going to allow me to really group people in particular areas where you have some shared interests, and that will be your discussion group for this semester. A couple of things I wanted to touch on. As you can see here, this is the first intro page to the course that you'll see online. Always has my contact information on there. You have my email address You have my phone number. Feel free to call or text me during normal working hours. Okay, so that's 7 to 5, right around there. 7 days a week. You can call me on the weekend, that's fine. I'll tell you, in our house, we typically go to bed early. So if you call me at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I'm probably not going to answer, but I'll get back to you the next day. Just leave me a message. The other thing that you'll find on the homepage is the current week's activities. So there will be a link to the module we're working on, and then anything else beyond that. For example, this first week, there's a link to the syllabus for you to take a look at. Couple of things I would suggest to you, and this is where I see students can kind of get tripped up sometimes. You'll notice on the homepage you've got the to-do list for yourself, and then over on the left-hand side you've got links like home, modules, grades, those kinds of things. Don't access the course through the to-do list. My suggestion is to access the course through the modules link. When you click on modules, you'll see a list of modules pop up. You'll notice some of them are not available yet. Module 1 is. Module 1 is called Status of the Secondary Classroom. This has all the information that you need to complete Module 1. The reason that I say this is I always have really critical information I want you to look at before you start doing the activities for the module. I don't want you just jumping to the activities. And the reason I say that is because I take information from the text as part of your activity, but I also bring in a lot of different resources that I'm familiar with, content that I think you need to know separate from what's in the textbook. And you will find all of that within that initial link, that module instructional material. And it always says read first. So don't jump the gun and get into the activity. Always take a look at this first. It'll give you the goals for the module. It'll lay out what the module activities are that you're going to be doing. Typically, you're going to be reading a chapter or two from the text. You're going to be watching some instructional videos that I've put together for you, and you're going to be exploring some resources available. For example, you can see that here. These videos are all on YouTube. You can watch them here, or you can also see them on my YouTube channel. Okay? So that is a critical tip for success. Always access the course through the module links, not through your to-do list or through your calendar. Then once you've looked at that instructional material, you kind of have an idea of where the week is going, then take a look at the activity. See kind of what the expectations are, kind of plan out for yourself in your mind what your week's going to look like. Okay? So we've got 7 days between when you can access the module and when it's due. The first couple days you might say, I'm going to read the chapters. The third day, I'm going to take a look at the activity. I'm going to answer at least 2 questions on the chapter review. Fourth day, I'm going to answer the third question. Okay? That gets you pretty close to done. The other tip that I would say for you is I am always glad to provide feedback. So especially as if you haven't had a class from me and you're not sure about kind of what the expectations are, especially for these things like the chapter questions that you answer, send me a draft. I'll take a look at it. I'll give you feedback, let you know if you're on the right track. I'm always glad to do that. Just make sure, for example, Module 1's due January 21st at 8 a.m. Don't send it to me that Sunday evening at 8 and say, hey, can you give me feedback? Because I might not have time to before the next morning when it's due. So give me 24 hours or so to give you some feedback on that assignment. Okay, so those are some important tips in terms of accessing the material. The other important tip I would say is post to the discussion forum early. Okay, we are going to have discussion forums due in this class. Unfortunately, within Canvas, I can't have 2 due dates within one discussion forum. So typically what I do is when I post a discussion forum, that final grade is due on Monday. But what I'm going to ask you to do is about midweek, do an initial post. Let's get that discussion going. Don't wait till the last minute. So you will really have 2 due dates for those discussion forums. Kind of a midweek due date to get that initial post, and then the final responses to your peers, that real discussion piece occurring, will be due by that Monday. Okay? Don't let that trip you up. I will also tell you that as I grade discussion forums, I look at how long you're logged in on those discussion forums. Okay? I don't want to see you have 3 posts right at the last minute within a 10-minute time span, and that's the only time you've been on there. Make sure you're logging into that discussion forum by Wednesday, Thursday, doing an initial post, and then over the weekend, participate in that forum with your peers. It's really important. This is a great learning tool for you to not only expand your knowledge on the content we're learning about, but also gain some really critical knowledge from experiences within folks that are in your class with you. Another thing I will say is ask for help. So if something seems confusing to you, you think, I don't know if I'm following the activity right, email me, let me know. What I see my primary focus here is really facilitating your learning, okay? So I want to make sure you have a successful and positive experience. I want you to feel like you are a better teacher at the end of this semester than you are coming in January. So ask me for help if you need it. And stay connected. I don't know about you guys and kind of where you're sitting at in life circumstances, but for me, I've got 3 kids at home. I've got a husband that travels a lot. Things happen. Kids get sick. Mom gets sick sometimes, which is never a good thing. So stay on top of things, but if you see things starting to slip a little bit because some life circumstances are happening to you, email me, communicate it, do it early. I have a no late work policy, and that's a no late work policy when I've been notified of no issue that's come up and you're turning in work late and you're not communicating with me. If you communicate with me that there's an issue, we can work through a plan to keep you on track. Okay, so just communicate if things pop up. That's the biggest thing I would suggest to you as well. So I'm really excited to get to know you. You're going to see my face a lot because there's a lot of video in this course. I really believe in making that connection with you. And, you know, we tend to lose sometimes a little bit because we're not face-to-face, but my focus is really making sure we have that strong connection, even though we're learning online. And you feel like you get to know me as an instructor, I get to know you as a student and as a teacher, and supportive of your learning experience. So reach out to me if you have any questions. Make sure in this first week that you really kind of start early, taking a look at the chapter, get familiar with how the textbook's laid out, take a shot at those chapter review questions, send them to me early if you want me to give you some feedback, see if you're on track. And don't forget to do that discussion survey so that I can begin grouping our discussion forums into groups that are going to be most effective and really meet your needs. So I look forward to getting to know you. I know I have a lot of returning students too. Excited to see your names on my list of students, and I will be seeing more of you soon.